Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Calica and you're going to be a craftier person after watching this video. Teachers do nothing about a bully for over 2 years. I report him to his dad. For some context, this takes place in England and it happened between 2006 to 2009. I was around 4 and had just begun primary school. As such, I was in the reception class, which is what we call the class after nursery and before year 1. I was a very small kid. There was another kid who was in year 2 or so and was much bigger than me. He immediately started targeting me as soon as I began school. Punching, name calling, it happened every single day. He even told me that if he found out I told anyone, he would punch me more. This led to me fighting my mum and teachers to not go to school because I didn't want to be near that guy. At some point, I tried telling the teachers and they did nothing. They knew what was up, but they just acted like they had no idea. Looking back, his actions combined with the teachers' neglect to do anything may have been a large factor in why I'm now antisocial and untrusting, because I remember being very outgoing and extroverted at that age. He really effed me up mentally. Anyway, he continued to bully me like this for another 2 years or so. Eventually, he got to year 4. In my school, the year 4s and above had their own bigger playground during break. As a result, I didn't see this guy as much, but the damage was already done and I was still full of hatred. At the same time, I got to year 2. Usually, all classes below year 4 would stay in the small playground side, but for some reason, my class was in the big side for that year, which means my class was opposite to year 4. I never really saw anyone from the higher classes at the end of school though, because they usually got out early. However, one day it was my class that got out early instead. Time for the revenge. I'm waiting for my mum to come and pick me up, when all of a sudden I see my bully walking out waiting for his parent. His dad comes over and I feel a light bulb lighting above my head, to the point where I almost have an evil smile on my face. I run up to him and spill everything to his dad, right in front of his face. His dad was a decent guy and took my words seriously. I could see, maybe even feel my bully's heart sinking. He was effed and it felt amazing. A few days later, I don't see him around for quite a while. I later found out his parents asked the other kids and they had similar stories to me. This jerk was a bully to other kids in the same way for the same amount of time and the teachers still did nothing. He was eventually transferred to a different school and I can only imagine how mad his parents were at him. My mum was surprised but impressed by my quick thinking. She had just arrived when I went to speak to the bully's dad. I only ever saw this guy one other time, about 3 years later. I don't think he recognised me, but surprisingly he seemed to be a much better person. Clearly his parents did a good job in fixing his behaviour. To this day, I still don't know his name, but I'm happy knowing he's been dealt with and he's no longer the jerk he used to be. I'm usually the kind of person to hold a grudge, but weirdly enough, I hope this guy's doing alright. He's learned his lesson and seems more than capable of finding success in life. Forget to clean up? Fine. Everyone gets free cable. TLDR at the bottom. So y'all seem to like my ProRevenge story from 30 years ago, how about this time we fast forward to 15 years ago? Details are fuzzy and name changed to protect the innocent. While railroad ties and vandals are not involved like the previous story, it does include the evil empire cable corporation, margaritas and a padlock. Whether it's ProRevenge or petty revenge, you let me know. Pre-children, my wife and I purchased our first house. We were very excited to be homeowners. We were particularly proud to show off all of our gardening and yard skills we had developed over the years of childhood chores. Don't tell mum, but who knew that seemingly punishment of yard work would actually translate to adulthood? We are off to a great start, with a meticulous yard spending way too much time and money. On my small suburban lot is the utility box for one of the 2 cable choices in the neighbourhood. Along the EE Cable Corp, you know the one who Forbes always lists as one of the worst companies in the country? I come home from work one day and notice the utility box is open and the cables are filleted all over. I did not think too much of it at the time and made a mental note assuming they're on a break. The next day I come home from work and the utility box is still a mess. I called the Evil Empire Cable Company to kindly let them know that they've left a mess in my yard after a repair. They told me nicely that they will be out in the neighbourhood the following day to finish the work. Many weeks come and go without them fixing their mess. It was coming up on our first pool party and we wanted the house to be perfect. I called the EE Cable Corps again, not to bore you with the details of the conversation, but ended with a rude ending that they will be out eventually. Now I am seeing why nobody likes this Evil Empire Cable Company. At our first pre-children pool party, maybe after a margarita or 4, we start aimlessly discussing the Evil Empire Cable Corps. Now, we are a bunch of engineers and a truck driver, important later, drinking margaritas. The discussion turned from complaining to scheming. While poking around the utility box and the box on the side of my house, we noticed that this EE Cable Corps does not use multiple line blocks on the cable. They merely hook up the cable from the house to the utility box, easy peasy, nice and easy. I am guessing the lack of security is a genuine artifact of Midwest nice. Why protect something that nobody steals? We also notice that there is only one house of the 8 that is serviced with cable, so we proceed to hook up free cable to the 7 remaining houses. We neatly stuff all the wires and close the utility box. As I mentioned, the only non-engineer in the group was the truck driver. An earlier pointless discussion was about different padlocks and why truck drivers use a specific round kind, basically so that it's impossible to break with small bolt cutters. He grabs a large round padlock out of his truck and we try to place it on the utility box. It won't fit, the hole is too small. So a few seconds of drilling, we've now placed our own padlock on the EE cable core utility box along with 7 houses with free cable protected by an industrial padlock designed to prevent trucker theft. After meeting the other neighbours and making sure they're trustworthy, I let them know about our party. Each one smiled and began enjoying free cable. A number of months later, enjoying free cable, the EE cable core is in the backyard staring at our handiwork. They bend over regularly, really studying the padlock. I can only imagine their discussion on what they are seeing. They bring out the bolt cutters from the truck. I assume they carry them if they've lost a key or the padlock is rusted. Now, looking at the bolt cutters, I can tell this will be a futile exercise. After only about 3 minutes, they both shrug their shoulders, get in their truck and leave. This was the last time we ever saw the EE Cable Company. Since all but one of us was enjoying free cable, there was no reason for them to be out here. Our gig was up when the one who did pay for the cable, who we never really met, moved. The next technician was very dedicated. After 3 trips each with a large bolt cutter, resulting in using one more than 4 feet long, put everything back to the way it was before. And thus concludes the story of 7 houses enjoying free cable for more than 4 years because the laziness of a single technician and a rude customer service rep. TLDR. Because the laziness of a single technician and a rude customer service rep of the evil Empire Cable Corporation, 7 houses enjoyed free cable for more than 4 years. You won't pay me? Okay, I'll double my work. Okay, so some backstory. I was 13 and I lived in a really fancy neighbourhood, and every year we have a best lawn competition. The prize for the winner is a $500 check. Some of my neighbours are really nice, but some are rich snobs. This is also sort of an entitled person story, so I'll be using abbreviations like EP. So I was managing my parents' flower garden, and I worked really hard for about 2 hours, and when I finished it looked really good. Entitled person was walking her dog and spotted me admiring my work. EP is generally an a-hole to everyone, so I wanted to avoid conversation, but she called out to me and the conversation went as follows. EP is entitled person, me is me. Entitled person, wow, did you do all this work? Yeah, I was out working for the lawn competition. You did a great job. Do you think you can do my lawn? If you pay me by the hour, I'll be happy to work. Ugh, why do I have to pay? Because I'm helping you compete against me, I want some profit out of it. Okay, fine, $10 an hour. So the next day I do her very weedy lawn and I think I did pretty good. I pick up every single one of her weeds, I cut the grass, and I even buy some flowers for the patches of dirt where the weeds used to be. After 4 hours of work, I knock on EP's door to let her see the work, thinking she would be impressed. I was very wrong. Entitled person. Ew, what is this? I was confused, but I wanted to see if I missed anything. What? The grass is the wrong colour. The grass is green. What colour is it supposed to be? Orange-ish. I want my lawn to have fall colours, which I'm pretty sure is a made-up excuse. You didn't say that. You should have known. Now get out of here because you ruined my lawn. I'm not paying you. Wait, what? Entitled person walks into her house and slams the door. I go home and start to plan my revenge. Around the neighbourhood, I hear EP bragging about her perfect lawn. About a week later, I stay up until 12 o'clock, and I go to a compost pile behind my house and gather up all the weeds I tossed from my own garden. I go to EP's house and spend another hour kicking up her flowers, adding bug bait and replanting the weeds in her yard. That morning was the morning of the competition. By the morning, her garden had some bugs and looked like the house was abandoned. It was worth all the work to see EP's face in the morning. Imagine a toddler who just saw his favourite teddy bear get ripped to shreds. We didn't win the competition, but EP came in last and was humiliated. EP knew it was me and tried to get me in trouble, but I asked her if she had proof. I also told the whole neighbourhood about the situation, so the other neighbours began to dislike her. EP never spoke to me again and eventually moved away, maybe because of the humiliation. Trust me, rich people care about lawns very much. Edit. For those wishing I spray painted her lawn, damn, that's a good idea. I wish I would have thought to spray paint her lawn. Edit 2. Getting kinda tired replying to people who think this is fake. I really don't care if you think it's fake, it's not fake. Please just downvote the post and go away. Okay, so that's all today for r/ProRevenge. I really hope you did enjoy it, and as always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!